All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Estrada Chronicles. This is yours truly, Hector Estrada. I'm joined by my brother, Isaiah Estrada. Say what's up.
What's up?
All right, so pretty much we're on our third episode, and we do have a special guest here joining us for a few brief minutes here. I know her very well. She's very lovely. A little bit of pain in the neck, but I love her. And her name is my daughter, Olivia. Say hi, Olivia.
Hi, everybody.
All right, so how old are you?
6.
6, all right. So it's the weekend and stuff like that. So what do you often think about? Like we were talking about this the other day. Like she wanted to go to Colorado again. Because remember here
Olivia?
where we live, huh?
Used to go to Colorado?
Yeah, because she never said she went there once and she's seen snow. Like we don't see snow down here.
I've never been to Colorado.
Oh, he's never been there.
I heard it has mountains and snow, and that is it.
Listen, they make Pennsylvania's mountains look like babies.
Yeah, I heard that they have large mountains. Yeah.
I like Colorado because there's snow and you can play in the snow. Like what's the possible thing that's fun with it? Like what's the possible thing?
That's true. You can't do that in PA because half that snow is like polluted. So.
No, that's not true. You could do a lot with the snow, but she was like, I think you could do snowballs with the snow. You could. You know what I want to do? I want to try skiing.
Skiing?
Yeah, it's hard though. It's really difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, what's so funny? When we used to live in the Poconos, there were like 10 places where there was skiing, and we never did any of that.
I did.
Well, I did.
I knew all those guys at Shawnee and I knew all those guys. I actually got a discount. Hey, Fernwood, I got a discount too. But again, Fernwood was the gold mine for. Well, we can't. You know what it was the gold mine for.
Yeah.
We can't go into that, but.
Fernwood was a special place in this.
It was a special place in our hearts. Oh man.
All right.
So Livy, so pretty much what we do on here is talk about our life. Do you want to, so a little bit about Olivia. She likes to dance. She likes to sing.
Yes.
She likes to play with Barbies.
Yes. Always gonorrhea's here.
Yeah, we just came from a Disney cruise like a few weeks ago. How'd you like the Disney cruise? She'll tell you.
In the Disney World, it's only a little bit characters, but in the Disney boat, it was more characters.
A lot of characters.
Yeah, more. Like you usually don't sometimes it's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you see Mickey Mouse in Disney World, but there's in other kingdoms what was it? Forgot them, but there's you only see a little bit characters, but you cannot see Mickey Mouse and Goofy, but the Chipmunks I saw them, but they're not in the Disney World.
Oh, Chippendale. What is it? The Chipdales, or something like that.
And but you in Disney World, you see you see Tiana, and you see more characters.
What's your favorite character?
Minnie Mouse and Tiana.
Yeah, Tiana. Like it was. She definitely wanted a picture with them, bro. I was like nonstop. Like
Pictures,
she did not want.
character.
Yeah, listen, man. But we were going up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
Because she does not believe in elevators. And those cruises, bro, are like
Oh,
8 or 9 feet.
let me tell you something. What? She don't like taking elevators?
No, man, she does not like taking
Olivia,
elevators.
I understand you. When I was younger, I did not want to take an elevator that was like more than 8 stories, or or I would be like freaking out.
Yeah, but that's not why. She just didn't want to do the elevator.
Yeah.
Like she just wanted to, bro. But we were going up and down, up and down, up and down the steps, bro. Like.
But with mommy, when she takes me, she's more up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But anyway, that was pretty much it. We just wanted to have a guess. Do you want to say any last words before you get off?
No.
No. All right. Well, Olivia wants to say hi, and she thanks for being on the podcast for a few minutes. You are a star. What do you want to be when you grow up? But you don't know yet.
I'm a singer, a firefighter.
Singer and a firefighter.
That's it.
All right.
We can work.
What is it? Huh?
No. Yeah, I guess you can do both.
Yeah, you could do both. When it happens. You could definitely do both. Right, baby?
Yeah.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. She did good. She did good.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? She did not waste no time at all.
No, she didn't. She's tell you, bro, she could talk all day. She's that's not even like that's like a quarter
No, yeah.
of what you see. That's like a quarter of what you see. She's
Crazy. It's
but
been
anyway,
6 years, yeah.
6 years, bro.
Yeah.
6 years going on 10. But what was I gonna say? So we talked about like the introduction of everybody last week, stories with Dad. But I did want to get into pretty much like when we moved up from New York to Pennsylvania. We're really going to start off with you, like your experience in Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania, pretty much, to make a long story short, I moved there when I was in 7th grade or 6th grade. And I was like 12, 13 years old. He was like 2 or 3 years old. Dad had found a house up there. And we were the first family to move up there. And everybody followed us. Right? The rest of the family followed us. We were a New York family. Like everybody grew up in New York. Everybody didn't matter what borough. Everybody was there.
You may say we are the first New Yorkers. You know, we'll take that title.
We are. In Pennsylvania, yeah. I mean, we got that. Everybody followed us. But Dad was the one. Quick story. Dad found the house, and Dad really welcomed that lifestyle. But I think again, I don't know if mom is going to agree with this. She has to confirm, but like I don't think mom wanted to move up there because it was too different. Like it was like no sidewalks or anything. The nearest Walmart's like 45 minutes.
She was more of a city person,
right? She was more used to it.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't even call it like where we live. It wasn't even like a suburban. It was just like boondocky. I don't know what's the word for it. Like when you're in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by woods. So
yeah, it was the middle of nowhere. I mean, especially back then.
Yeah,
it was the middle of nowhere. It was nothing but trees and there's deep communities, like there was nothing around.
There was that one checkpoint in the middle of the road. That's just that was just for us, and that's it.
I said the nearest school was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Nearest school to get out of the community, bro, was like a 15-minute drive.
Oh, God, bro.
Yeah, man. Like if we had more than 5-6 inches of snow back then, we didn't go to school up there.
Yeah.
Which I love, because what kid doesn't love to be home from school? especially if it's snow outside.
Yeah, but then also you'll be the only one shoveling that. There will be no one coming
Yeah,
by.
but listen, I don't care though, bro, because it's better than going to school.
Just put in like your CD and just listen to music and shoveling snow for like the next 3 hours.
Yeah, but not even take that much. It didn't even take that long. Not with our drive because I only had to do the front.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't do like our whole driveway, but like it was Pennsylvania was a different world, man. When we moved there from New York, and I mean, it was just like a whole different world. But I don't know if mom would confirm that, but like dad wanted it more than mom, or like that mom wasn't open. She was a little bit skeptical. But again, if she wants to correct the story down the line, she can. She's more than welcome to. Um, so what do you? Because mostly New York, you don't remember because you was like only there for like the first 2 years of your life. So
Yeah.
like, I pretty much talked about me a little bit in these last, but like, what would you start off with? Because I know
Well,
Pennsylvania is, I want to say near and dear to your heart, but it's where your life
well,
pretty much
I
started.
lived there like half of my childhood, really. So,
Right.
like the first half of it. So it's like the first thing I remember. Like at the age of 4, I remember just like I don't know, what's that term? Like you grow consciousness at the age of 4 or something? Like you remember stuff? Or I don't know, when you're young, like what's the earliest you remember
For
when
me,
you were
it
young?
was 7. For me, it was 7.
Me, it was like either like 4 or 5. And then, yeah. So I remember certain things, maybe from New York, but I remember pretty much most of all of it in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So we lived in that Poconos house in the middle of the woods. For the most part, uh, trying to see. You know what's so funny was how one thing that I remember is how complete opposite mom and dad were when it came to certain things. If that makes
Yeah, I see what you would. What's an example?
Oh, there was one example. Okay, so mom would Grand Theft Auto. This is a small example. Grand Theft Auto. Mom would be like freaking out. It's like, no, you can't play this game. It's awful and whatever. And then dad would be like, calm down. It's like, and then he would sit down, play San Andreas. He's like, it's like, oh, this game is fun. It's like, and then he would go on a rampage. It's like they're complete opposites of how they approach situations in a way. One thing I remember is my dad, and yes, I'll admit it, he was a bit overprotective of me compared to
Especially.
compared to my other siblings, because not that I could get away with certain things. Well, maybe a little, but I I remember one time, like whenever I wanted to eat like certain things when I was younger, they would make it for me in a special way, I guess. And I remember you told me a story about how one of your friends took, was it spaghetti? Like,
Oh, I'll put the man's name on blast right now. So like the dude's name was we'll call him Rolo. He knows who I'm talking about.
yeah.
Casanova Spade, you know who I'm talking about. It was the Trinidadian guy
Oh,
that Mike knew really well.
yeah.
He's back in Trinidad now.
Yeah.
So he's a childhood friend that hung around us, really with Mike, but like because Mike is our cousin, he hung around the rest of us. And he knew Casanova a little bit because he was in the same grade.
Yeah.
So he was just there. I mean, I can't speak for them, but he was cool, but he was annoying.
Was
Like so.
Will he like show up to the house like Jazz from like First Friend?
Yeah, he was like that. He did, but not with me though. He didn't do that with me too much. He did it more with like Mike.
Yeah.
He will always be at Mike's house.
Just show up.
He will always be at Mike's house. Like he will always be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he again, when Mike sees it, he's gonna be laughing his head off. Like, but because it's true, like, and they were friends for years, man.
Yeah.
But he was always annoyed. Like, he always gave me like a weird vibe.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, but with him anyway. Yeah. So going back to the story, he would come over the house, and like he was known for going to people's houses and like asking to eat their food. But one day, like you had the special food for your house, like you ate canned SpaghettiOs. That was your thing,
Yeah.
right? And like one day he ate like canned spaghetti. He did. In all fairness, I think he did ask me if he could have it.
Yeah.
And like, but like the way he asked it, bro, like it was like a fiend asking for crack. Like it was just like, yo, can I have that? I was just like,
I need some of that.
Like, you know, like it wasn't like I was afraid of him, but I was just like, I don't know, this dude is fiending like he hasn't ate in days. So I felt bad in a way. I was like, yeah, you gotta have it, bro. It was like the last. Who cares? I mean, you know, this is my brother doesn't even stay here full time. Like that was my thing because I don't think he stayed full time with him. This is when. Okay, we're going back. So we're fast forwarding, guys. We're going to not when we first moved there, but years down the line when my mom and dad divorced.
Yeah.
So when my dad and mom were divorced, a lot of friends came over.
Oh, a lot of people came over. No, yeah, a lot of people came over.
Once mom was gone.
A lot of people just showed up.
A lot of people just showed up. Anyway, so that's where it is. That's where the time frame is. And I am now 14. Instead of 12 years old, I'm like 15, 16 years old. And you're probably like 6 or 7 years old. You're going back and forth.
Yeah.
But however, you didn't stay with dad full time. So this guy comes over, he eats the last thing of spaghettis, right? Can of SpaghettiOs. Man, the dad, I don't know if he was around, but dad came was like, yo, who ate the last thing of SpaghettiOs? I was like, well, it wasn't me. He was like, was it him? It was one of my other friends. And he was like, my other friend, his name is Pat, right? Pat was like, no, Rolo ate it. Immediately snitched him out, man. and it was like, Rolo, I know who that is. Okay. Man, he just ate. He's like, I have to go, like stores aren't close around here. Man. He was a little bit tight, but he wasn't like tight. So next time we're at Rolo's house.
Oh, you took his food?
No. We never went in. Nobody ever went in Rolo's house because Rolo's dad didn't like people in his house.
Okay.
Yeah, we always went outside his house.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Rolo, his dad, and I think he had like one sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm not going to say too much about like his family because that's not what we do. But that's who was there at the house. Nice house. They had a basketball court drive-through outside.
Yeah.
So we were always hanging out there too, and we were hanging out, we were shooting and stuff like that. So like my dad pulls up in his truck driving by because his house was on the way to our house. Our house was deep 15 minutes at the end of the line at the back end of the community. Rolo's was before. So my dad seen us there. He was like, and his dad. Funny fact is, Rolo's dad happened to be outside too. And dad pulls down the window. He's like, "Hey, can we come over here?" He's like, "Hey, both of you, I want to." Hey, so he gets out of the car, like parks, like gets out of the car. He's like, right in front of Rolo. He says, goes his dad's like, "Hey, do you feed your son?" He's like, "No, what do you mean?" Like dad did it in such a like friendly, tough way that it was like very
passive aggressive or
very passive aggressive. Like dude didn't even catch on. And he's like, "Do you feed your son?" It's like, "I tried to," and the guy joked around, and it was like, "Oh, okay, because he's eating up he's eating up my he's eating up my crap."
like,
Yeah, man, he's a growing boy, man. You need to feed him, you know? But I was about to start charging him with these. And
Oh
he put up his
no.
fist. So, and he didn't even know them. But like the way he did it was like super smooth and like them dudes didn't say nothing, they just laughed. But you could see Rolo's head down like this. Like he was embarrassed. And like his Rolo's dad looked at him. So I know like once we left,
He
you know
gave
like Rolo,
he gave it to.
yeah, you know. Hey, them Caribbean dads,
Oh, he's Caribbean.
they do
Okay.
not. Yeah, so they do not play. So especially that, they probably was really like. I don't even think he would have been mad at dad because I knew his dad. Like his dad was really laid back.
Yeah.
Like Rolo's dad was really laid back. So yeah, so it was like really really fun. But going back to your thing, yeah, he was really overprotective
Yeah.
and really like, especially with you, like really like nobody could do you wrong. I remember a story
Oh,
that you have did something, bro. Like you have like did something, and like I was like, bro, how could you do that? We were like,
oh, don't embarrass me too
no,
much. I was
no,
only
no, no, no.
5.
No, I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Okay.
No, this is more embarrassing for me than you.
Alright.
So like, this was when him and mom. Fast forward like to when we first got the house.
Yeah.
Probably the first year we was 12 and you was 13. You was probably like 3 years old.
Yeah.
And like you was like, I had yelled at you for something, but like you was like a brat, and I was like, hey, stop. But like when I held your wrist,
Oh no.
but I wasn't like, I didn't like squeeze your wrist. I was just like holding it simple, like because you was trying to hit me and do all this stuff. You was in your anger tantrum, and then like,
Twos.
and then, huh?
The terrible twos. Yeah.
But then you was like, you was like, Daddy, he's squeezing my hand, which was total BS. So like, Dad came and didn't even ask, and Mom was there too, and Dad was just like, he just snuffed me in the, he just like, in the face, in the nose, bro. Like he didn't even like, he leaned against the wall, like, and then I was like, what is he gonna do to me? Oh. Like that's what he did, and even like, bro, my nose is bleeding, bro. Yeah, you owe me because
I don't even
mom
remember.
like,
So it's like,
because you're 3. Of course you don't remember.
well, I didn't have full consciousness yet, so I couldn't control
that's
my
cool.
actions.
But Mom was like, Hector, oh my God, how can you do that? And then my dad was like, he just like was freaking out, man. It was like, I didn't mean to hit you there, but you kept moving, something like that. So
I will say this, like discipline wise, I lucked out because they did give me the belt, but it was not in the face area or up. It was just either the belt to the leg, and that was it. I didn't get no face. I was
you
older.
You didn't even get that, bro. At least from Dad. Dad never.
Mom did that most, at least like in certain situations. But besides that, I got lucky compared to my other like siblings and older cousins. They got it in certain ways. Like, yeah. So I know I lucked out. My bad.
That is cool, but you were saying though, like, so what else do you remember about
The
Pennsylvania?
studio.
Like, you remember our house?
Yeah, I remember the studio room where he made music, and he would try to bring people in to do music. Some of them were good. Others, it's like, I hope this was just a hobby and that's it. I hope.
Man, I got so much to say on that, man.
There was like
listen,
there was some that were like, "Oof, yikes!" It's like, and that I don't know if he was either like, I don't know what his reactions were most of the time. I don't know if he was either like brutal about it or he was just being nice about it. But like I said, it was like a mixture of like, because there were some that were like good, but then
yeah.
there were other people that it was their first time there, and then it was their only time. And then
No, there were. So I agree with you with everything to the last part. I think the people that were there all the time were the ones that actually
oh
sucked.
yeah,
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 like
that or
really, who was around that time? Pay attention to what I'm saying. The people that was there most of the time sucked, and the people that were good could have came around a little bit more.
yeah,
I'll say right now, Cousin Johnny could have came around more. He's really talented. Shout outs to him. He makes music and does everything under the sun.
yeah,
Uh, shout out to Trey. We'll talk about Trey a couple of times, but he's also another childhood friend. He was in my grade. But Trey's we haven't spoken in years, but like I think we were cool last time we spoke. But Trey keeps in contact with the family. He's a family friend, but like he was a great singer. Um, Still is a great singer, but you know he has his own life and family now. I don't know much about him,
yeah,
but he was good. He came around quite a bit, so he was the only one that was there quite a bit, and he was doing records for Dad. And then there was this girl named Nikki, and she was a great singer. She's probably gonna be shocked that I'm even mentioning her, but she had a great, like, you don't forget her voice.
yeah,
Like, you do not forget her voice. Like she was
and
really talented, really talented back then. But like that's the only ones. And there was a guy named Tools. Um, First, he was one of what is it, Dad's friend's sons,
yeah,
and he could really rap. You've seen him before. I think you probably seen him before, but
I
you were probably
think
too young.
so. Also,
Yeah.
I would like to mention we also he's not with us anymore, but we got there was another person. Well, not another person, but there was another individual that was living with us. His name was Bear, the giant,
Oh, the Wild.
the Wattwire. You know, the fuck, the dog that what was it that pretty much was overprotective of me in certain ways, and
It was.
yeah, he was overprotective of me to the point where Dad had to put him in the cage because if he let him out, the dog would be on me, just be my bodyguard for 24/7. And then I believe he saved your life with
Yeah.
the against a real bear. So,
Yeah, I'm surprised you remember that.
yeah, I
I
remember
do.
certain things. I remember one time he went in the middle of the woods for like a few hours and literally just came back. It was like, yeah, it's like nothing happened. And people don't realize like a lot of times when dogs get missing, especially in those woods, they ain't coming back out. So when he went in there and was missed in the pitch black darkness, and then and I remember Mom shout his name. He just literally just walk up to the car. It's like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna get into the car. Like it happened. So he was like the toughest and sweetest dog. Probably the first dog guy we ever had, really. But well, I had.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I did love Bear. The only thing I would say is I could have been more nicer, more attentive to him.
Yeah,
I do regret like at times like taking. Sometimes we take animals for granted,
yeah,
and I'm not like a huge dog lover now, but I even with me saying that, I see the seriousness still in like caring for an animal.
yeah.
And I think a lot of times when we get pets, we're not we don't think like it's serious work. We view them as like a coat in the closet.
Yeah, no,
And
they are serious uh, workers. They are mad difficult.
yeah, it's difficult, man. It's not a game, man. It's not a game. But like just seeing the way, I mean, we had plenty of like good times with him though. You know, he was a very loving dog. He was overprotective. I feel bad the way he died because, well, it was bound to happen because he had Lyme. His family had Lyme disease,
Yeah.
and then he had Lyme disease. So he died at a young age, like 4 years old.
I thought it was like, wasn't it cancer? Like dog cancer or something?
I think it started from Lyme disease.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Lyme disease. Again, only that could confirm this story, but there's no way he could because
Yeah.
you know he's no with us. But I think that's what it was. But like I saw him, I was the first one to see him die.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was the first one. It was my last day of school when I was a freshman, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. Or was I a senior? I don't remember, but it was one of those years. It was the year. It was the day. I remember the day.
Yeah.
Check this out. It was the day that I had a friend over, and
Ooh.
so I was living with Dad at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it goes. Anyway, that day, I think she had just left, and then I went back. I went and took a nap, right? And then all of a sudden, and by the way, my mom, at this point, my mom
No,
and
she
dad are
wasn't.
like,
Yeah.
mom wasn't there. So dad had left to go somewhere. I was the only one there. I woke up, it was raining. You know, and we had him on a runner. It was near the basketball court. He died right on next to the basketball hoop.
Yeah.
In the driveway. Like literally, like his hair was all flipped up, like he was dead.
Yeah.
And like it was never forget it. I never forget it. Like I called dad and dad like rushed home and we had to bury him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we buried him and I had to help dad carry him and it was
So
it
there's
was
like no procedure. I mean, I don't know. I might be dumb by saying there's no procedure of like you have to call someone or if like a dog dies or you just have to bury them.
that's a good question. I honestly I was so just enamored with I couldn't tell you what else. I couldn't tell you what else happened. The only thing I do remember, and he did say this. Like, I'm sorry, he did say this. Remember, this is what we told you guys that when we say things, sometimes people are not going to like what we have to say. But Dad did say this. But I think he was just more hurt more than anything. Like, he did tell me, well, you treated him like crap. So I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said that, and like, I guess that was a strong reaction, but because after that he cried.
Yeah.
Dad cried, so I guess that was like his way of coping with it. So, I never been like, I'm a deep guy. I'm sentimental, but I've never been like, I'm not trying to like brag, but like I've always been like the type that's been robotic at times.
Yeah.
To where like I could take people's emotions a little bit. Maybe that's I don't know. No, that explains a lot of things, but yeah. So that's what happened. That's what I remember. And then I think somebody else was there. A couple of our friends was there.
Our uncle, our dad's brother was there. That's what I remember.
He was there.
Yeah.
He was there. Okay. So they dug him up. But to answer your question, I don't remember if he had to call somebody or what was I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
because that's.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, but going back to like to the house in general. Another thing I remember too was that there were also a lot of people that were just there too. Like especially when mom left, it's like you mentioned before, there were like people that just showed up. Either they were friends of dad's or friends of ours or like family. It was be like, but in all fairness, like at least from what I remember, they were nice. So like it wasn't anything, at least I remember, too chaotic in the house.
You talking about post mom?
Yeah.
Like post divorce? or when they were married.
Post
Oh,
divorce
so the
dad.
divorce. So when they had the house, okay.
Yeah. Compared to like it's weird, and I mean you probably will disagree with me. Compared especially to the Arizona when I lived in Arizona, it wasn't, even though there were like people there. From my experience, it wasn't that bad. Then again, it could be because either my dad didn't really show it to me all that much, and he hid it better, or I don't know. Maybe it could be a multitude of things, but I remember not being it like too chaotic. That's all I could say.
What, with just dad?
Well, not with just dad, but like I mean, there were like other people that were living there too. So, but like, but comparing it to like Arizona, because I got some Arizona stories that are like they were pretty wild, but it wasn't like, sure, it was like the divorce thing, it does get to you as a kid when like going back to your mom and dad, and it could be a little rough at times. I remember it being a bit rough, the divorce. So
Yeah, yeah. So we'll go with that. So we moved to Pennsylvania. Our mom and dad were together. We moved. They were married for I think 16 years,
yeah,
right? We moved to PA. We were there for like a year or two. Right in my freshman year, I think I was 14 years old. They were arguing a lot
yeah,
because this is the guy was driving back and forth. It was a whole scandal. Mom accused him of cheating, and then dad refused, and they were arguing back and forth. It was really bad. And we'll get more into the actual arguing later. But just to make a long story short, they finally decided to get a divorce. And mom just told me one day, you was there too, but you was like 4. It was 4.
yeah.
Dad was at work, and mom just said, "Yeah, pack up yourself. We're leaving, and we're never coming back." And I was like, "What?" It's like, "What are you
It was
talking
like
about?"
that's it. It's like that's it.
But even with that, bro, I still thought we was going to come back. And she was like, "No, pack your
I
stuff."
mean, technically, a couple of times, not her, but technically, we were still like going back and forth between two of them, I believe.
I think she would go, but I think she would leave and then come back. Like she was doing it. Yeah, they were doing it, or dad would do it or whatever. But like it got bad. It was getting bad to the point where like I've seen physical fights, but there was getting to be a constant between them. So it was like, yeah, it got bad. It got really bad, and what is it? Mom thought it was right to leave, and which it was.
Yeah.
We went to my aunt, her older sister.
Oh yeah, where was it like 8,000 cousins were there?
Yeah, 8,000 people. We'll get to that story at another day, but um, pretty much. Remember we told you people had followed us up there,
Yeah.
right? Well, this is what pretty much me talking to the audience. Like audience, remember we told you people were following us up there? Well, she was one of those people. My mom's older sister followed us up there, and she had her own house.
Yeah,
And
it's like a 2-story. Well, yeah, it was like a 2-story house, wasn't it?
yeah, true story. Because yes, true story. But like, so we went to her house, and we went there. Dad found out we left when he got home, and he drove. He knew where we were. He drove to where we were staying at, which was at our aunt's house, and he
Literally
was
10
banged on
minutes.
the door, and it was on. Like I think my aunt and him were ready to fight, and
Bro.
a lot of things. He wanted to take you. He was like, "He's coming with me," and I was like, "Hector, no!" And all this other stuff. He's like, "You want to leave me?" And all was shouting and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And
it got, yeah, those aspects are like it's hard to think about because I do remember those parts of it did.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was like yo, everybody. It was like 9 o'clock at night, like on a school night.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then
and and then I think after, but there was a point where I think afterwards, I don't know, like I think did you moved out of dad's?
later, I stayed with my aunt, the aunt that
Yeah,
we all moved into.
yeah,
Mom eventually moved out of her house,
yeah,
and then you went you went with her. I stayed, but I didn't go to my father. I stayed in my aunt's house for 1 year. Then went with dad.
yeah,
So, yeah, since that day, I have not been with my parents ever. Like, not more than probably 4 or 5, not more than a consistent time.
yeah.
So I've never, when I was 14 years old, I've never lived with my parents again.
Yeah. It was kind of weird too because with me, it was either I was with, at least during that time, I was either with dad and mom, and that was it.
Yeah, you were with the aunt. You were with the my mom's mom's older
Yeah,
sister.
no, I was with her, but compared to like you, like I was there like part time, pretty much, and then sometimes I would live with dad a little bit. And I do remember there was a time where mom lived in like some weird, like suburban area in Pennsylvania. I don't remember, but I remember the only reason why I remember it was because it was, I think it was either in 2005 or something like that, because she had like a bird cage and she had like two birds, and that's the only reason why I remember. And this is a dumb, and this is the other reason why I remember, and it's so stupid. It was because it was the first time I saw Revenge of the Sith, the Star Wars movie on a TV. And that's the reason why I remember that. But I remember she lived there for a little bit, and then she got, I believe, remarried. I don't.
Oh, you talking to your favorite guy?
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah,
could get to that, but
no, we'll do that next episode.
yeah,
Next episode.
but yeah, but that's when the stories get wild with me. But yeah, but for the most part, it was either just living back and forth and all that, and then I believe though there was a certain point where, and this is you're gonna know where I'm going at with this story. So there was a point where dad did pick me up from my mom's older sister, my aunt's house.
Mm-hmm.
And he picked me up, drove back to the house, and then it was early in the morning. He decided to go somewhere, but he took me with him. We went, we were talking, went out of the house, we were driving down the street, and then that's when we heard sirens. And then that's when saw a cop, and then the cop was like, "Hey, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it's like, oh, are you so and so?" He's like, "Yeah," and then he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to step out the car for a sec," and he was like, "Oh, okay," and then as he stepped out the car, he was like, the cop was like, "I need you to open the trunk," and my dad was like, "Okay," so he opened the trunk. As soon as that happened, the the cop was like, "I'm gonna need you to turn behind your back and put your hands behind your back." So I don't remember the exact dialogue how it went down, but as soon as my dad opened that trunk, immediately put your hands behind your head.
Oh, so you seen him getting arrested? I didn't know that.
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw it with my own eyes, arrested, and then I saw another cop car pull up. And as soon as the cop car pulled up, I was, seeing your dad get arrested, especially at a young age, not exactly a fun experience. I was like nervous. I was like, what is going on? And he's like, it's fine, it's fine. Dad couldn't really do much. So there was this lady cop. So, there's this thing too, when they do this thing where there's a lady cop that pulls up, it's like, oh, it's okay, and whatever. So I went back to her car. So I was the back of the police car, and I don't know where they drove him. They drove the opposite direction, so out of the Poconos. And for some reason, the lady cop drove me back to the house, and where our Poconos house was. And as soon as she drove me there, it was a raid, bro. There were like at least 10 to 15 cops. It seemed like they were already there, bro. It was like they were like already there. So it was like if you wanted to get stuff from that house, well, that's in evidence. I don't know. Our Xbox or our Nintendo is in the evidence room somewhere in Pennsylvania. Just like it's like there's it's like the food is evidence, everything, because they were all over. They were like cockroach. They were everywhere. So the lady was like, at this point, it's like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have drove him up here. So they didn't know what to do with me. So they brought me back. They drove me back, and it's like, what the hell? So they drove me to my dad's friend. I'm not going to say her name exactly, but my dad's friend at the time, you know, she took me, and then she contacted my dad's brother, and then she gave him to him, and then my uncle gave me back to my aunt because they were wondering, they were trying to figure out what was going on with the situation. But I think this leads to that whole arresting with dad, which you know more about the actual thing. So that's what I remember. I remember the whole arrest thing. So, and I remember seeing him on newspapers too. And I was wondering, and it was weird too because it was like in my aunt's house. It was just a newspaper just lying on the kitchen.
Front page. He was on the front page.
He was on the front page. And I was like, why dad on the front page? And then one of my aunts was like, it's like, oh, they were like, they took the page immediately because they're like, no, that's nothing. It's like, all right.
Yeah. So I remember one particular, all that whole incident you just mentioned.
Yeah.
That was on your birthday. November 20th. Ooh. I think it was 06, 07.
Yeah.
It was 06. It was my senior year. I said I didn't remember, but it was our senior year when the whole thing happened.
Damn. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I was on Cops for my birthday. Yeah. Cops. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I remember. It was it happened on your birthday, and I was like, man, but wasn't he just giving him a cake? Like, didn't he take him to some party or take him out to some ice cream?
I think maybe pancakes or something.
Dad made banging pancakes.
Yeah, he made some pancakes. So hey, that was my birthday present. But after that, I stayed with like I said, with the aunt for a little while until my mom found out, and then she picked me up. And then I think a little afterwards, that's when we went to. Well, she was already in Arizona, but she went back to PA to come and pick me up.
Oh, our mother. We'll explain all that. Yeah, we'll explain all that. Because the time is like, yeah, but Yeah, the whole thing, because a lot that happened in this time period. We're just mentioning the your situation
Yeah.
with that.
So,
But
damn, I got lost. I'm not gonna lie, I got lost. But I'm trying to see. But besides that, I mean,
you said it was the front page news. Did you like? Do you remember in school like anybody? No, because they were young.
no, not really all that much. There were it was like what, first grade maybe. I don't know.
What school did you go to? Elementary school.
Bushkill.
Oh, you did go to Bushkill
Yeah, I went
Elementary.
to Bushkill. I don't know the exact reactions. I don't remember the exact reactions about it.
They were too young. They would have been too young to
Yeah,
read all that.
yeah.
That wasn't.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think a kindergarten or a first grader will be like. It's like, yo, I heard your dad got arrested. It's like, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
No, that was different for me.
oh really? They said they either say you're the coolest person in the world, or you. Oh damn, I can't believe you're the son of a criminal.
Yep, teachers gave me that
Oh, they
weird
give you a
look.
look. It's like, oh, it's like, yeah, I should have known a son of a criminal.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, it affected me the most with those reactions. But like, believe it or not, Casanova, Spade, like our cousins that because we're all close in age,
Yeah,
and Mike all got that reaction too. Oh, isn't that your uncle? Man, blah blah blah. So they were hearing it too.
man, they got that reaction.
Yeah, because they knew, like, because our father was popular. Because
Yeah,
remember, Dad. The problem with Dad was he always hung around people like younger than him.
yeah,
Like he hung around people we went to school with.
yeah,
Like the whole situation. We're not even going to get into that situation yet. Why he was arrested?
yeah. We're not
That's for a
gonna.
whole. That's
Yeah,
for another day.
that's a whole.
But, and then I know it's good. Probably from this episode, people are probably having more questions than like. But those will be answered, people. Those will be answered.
Oh,
You gotta stick around.
God
Gotta.
damn it!
This is why you gotta stick around for that. We're not gonna tell you.
No. So
We're not gonna tell you.
yeah, but I did live with the aunt a little bit, and it was all right. It was cool, but I wasn't really there for that long though. So
No, it wasn't.
yeah, and I mean for the most part, I mean yeah, there were some moments in PA that were like, I mean things that were not considered normal or like crazy moments, but as far as I remember, I was younger too, so it was either not remembering it as much or you know I didn't go through it as much as probably you did. As like when it came to like
Yeah, but you went through similar. You went through things just as much as I did, just in different ways.
yeah
I think that's what so many like we're 10 years apart, and like the dynamic is going to be different because I one environment to the other. It's like it's like apples and oranges.
yeah
You know? Yeah. So like, because I didn't even know you seen that. I didn't know you seen that get arrested. I didn't see that.
no,
I've seen him get arrested before, but with something else.
yeah
I didn't see him get arrested like in that fashion and then that young. So like that's that's
yeah.
that's
When I saw that, I was like oof. It's like yeah. And that's when life drastically changed, you could say.
it did forever.
Yeah.
It changed. It changed forever for a
Oh
lot
boy.
of people. For a lot of different people. I did. I want to go back to those studios. So we know about that. Like, I did want to go back to the studio. Like, dude, who do you remember? You remember a lot of people in the studio? Like, this is post mob. Like,
I don't remember exact names, but I just remember some of Dad's friends and some of our relatives, and that's about it, really. Like like I remember faces, but I don't remember like names exactly. So it's not like I could be like, oh, so and so was the best there. So as far, but he had a dope ass system too, like that. He got a piano.
Yeah.
He had like a whole piano thing, and then he had like the DJ set up. Yeah, it was pretty cool, you know. That shit was expensive. It probably is still expensive now. So
No, like you said, those guys. But I don't know what happened to all those stuff in our house, man. Because our house. So, quick story to our audience: our house got foreclosed soon after. So we don't know what happened to the stuff. Like our Xbox, our clothes. It's like all our material.
it's either in the evidence of a police station somewhere or someone.
They took our ATVs.
That's the first thing that they would.
They took our ATVs.
They were like, "This is evidence. This is evidence."
Right.
It's like they'll take the pianos like this. It's like this is going to be used against you in the court of law.
Like, sir, where's all the evidence? Oh, we don't know. Sergeant such and such.
It's like this sergeant took it 10 years ago. It's like they're probably now just searching in the evidence room trying to clear shit out. It's like what the fuck? It's like San Andreas. What the hell is this? It's like, and then they look. It's like, what's this piano doing here? It's like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know why. It's crazy what happened, but but we'll end it there. We have a lot to go over.
Oh, yeah.
We'll continue where we left off.
First part of my life. Now I'm about to. Next episode is second part of talk about desert.
The desert. That's a good title.
The desert, sand, and rattlesnakes.
Gangs.
MS-13.
Some gangs. Gets
West Coast, maybe.
Yeah, it was too crazy. But anyway, we'll end it there. Thank you for tuning in, guys. This is the Estrada Chronicles. We're available on Spotify and on YouTube. Please subscribe. Make us rich so we don't have to work at our jobs anymore.
Sponsor us.
And share. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sponsor us, whatever. Especially for my brother. Especially.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We're advertiser friendly for the most part.
Yeah, advertiser friendly. That's right. Anyway, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for next week.
All right. See ya.